Hello, everyone. Without a doubt, writing makes you think better. I think this is something that you would all agree with. And this is one of the primary reasons why you should write, even if you are not thinking of turning into an author or a writer. Similar to that, journaling also helps you think better. Now you combine two of these things that helps you think better, chances are you up your ante of being a better storyteller. So this is why you should journal if you are a writer, because journaling as a writer is like mining the best content ever out of things that are happening around you. So you don't really need to go out of your way to look for inspiration. Inspiration is all around you already. So, can someone please leave a hi or a hello or something of that sort so that I know that this has linked and this has started? So, I would straight up go into the live, which is going to be about ideas, journaling, and how you can bring these two together and turn it into profitable stories for your brand, or if you want to be an author or whatever of that sort. So please, okay, there's a comment. A comment means that the live has happened. Yes, Jayesh, today's concept is about journaling and how you can leverage journaling to be a better writer. Uh, to be honest, I firmly believe that everyone can be a writer and everyone should be a writer, and journaling is one of the easiest ways you can start. So there's that too. Hi Vishal, hello Riddhi, thank you so much for joining in. Okay, the stream has connected, so let us just begin. For starters, journaling is a form of storytelling, because what you are doing when you journal is you are either expressing how your day went, or you are opining about something that happened during the day, but you don't like at that point in time you didn't really have the bandwidth to respond the way that you want to, and you are like, "Arey, ye bola hota to maine tab." That is also intrinsic part of journaling. Hi Jayesh, thank you so much for joining in. So journaling is a form of storytelling, even if you are journaling something negative, something that does not matter. As long as you are sitting with a pen and paper or with the notes app on your phone, anything of that sort, you are practicing a form of journaling, right? So it is a form of storytelling. And here is where I don't know why my ring light keeps moving today. Uh, if my life goes dark, you know why. My ring light is in a dancey mode. Thank you so much, Rituparna, for joining in. And I am obviously in love with journaling. Like, I have so many journals to share. See, this is the number of journals. These are active journals that I have going on right now. So I'll go into all of this at the end, but let's just get started with my first recommendation for you all. This is a book you can check out called Storyworthy by Matthew Dix. If you don't want to check the book out, you can also go and check this TED Talk out. It is by Matthew Dix too, called Homework for Life. Basically, that is this TED Talk is a summary of his book only. So just check this TED Talk out when you have the time. The reason why I'm not sharing it here is I want this post to qualify for my Creator Accelerator thing. So there's that. But yeah, please look this up on YouTube. And I'll tell you what exactly Homework for Life is. Homework for Life uh, Thank you so much for joining in, Varsha. And yes, ma'am. Attendance noted. So, Homework for Life is nothing but an exercise of looking for the 5-second moments in your life that drastically had an impact on you. Say, I'll tell you, give you an example, right? Uh, when I was a kid and I was randomly doing something, I don't even remember what I was doing, but my father came in the house and he snapped the head of one of my Barbie dolls. And it was a 5-second moment. I don't know why he did. To this day, I don't know why he did that. But in figuring out, Are, ye maine kara hi kya hoga, So these are the kind of things that do not leave your head at all. And we all have one moment every single day of that sort, which absolutely baffles us, especially with social media. Because sometimes people comment certain things and you are like, "Mm, What mental gymnastics went into this, and then you figure it out and you're like, oh, ऐसे भी होता है, that type of a thing. So you have to basically look for 5-second moments in your life that could possibly be stories, and then you have to turn that into like something resembling fiction or non-fiction. So do you see these sticky notes that are sticking out of my diary? These are technically my 5-second moments. All of these sticky notes have been converted into stories, and some of them actually won some random prizes here and there, but more on that later. Point being, you don't need to write like a quirky, out of this world story to have a good story. Every single story that succeeds in the world, in long form or medium form or short form, every single story that succeeds taps into something very relatable that a lot of human beings feel, right? As Matthew Dix says, no one relates to a massive audience won't really relate to near death audiences, but people will always relate to feeling hunger at some point in time, because every single person, no matter how privileged or rich or whatever, they've had like intense hunger at some point in time, right? So this is what is referred to as homework for life. And the reason why you journal your homework for life is you want to remember it, right? Because every single day we live our life quite blissfully, to be honest. And we have these moments, and then these moments just pass us by, right? We don't really remember a lot of these moments, primarily because life gets in the way, right? Obviously, life gets in the way. So just have a habit of doing dirty journaling, which is to say that have a place which you feel comfortable. It could be your phones, it could be your tablets, it could be pen and paper, it could be voice memos, okay? And wherever it is, you can capture this experience for yourself to consume at a later date. And the reason you do that is, as I said, you have felt something profound, and that profound thing should not be lost in time, right? Because as Shweta Handa Gupta told me, and she presented an amazing scientific case on this, which is that the human mind has a way of rewriting memories. And you don't want that to happen to your 5-second moments. You don't want that memory rewritten as you age. You want that memory as is for you to use at some point in time. So Varsha has a comment. Good stuff, Binati. Getting to think about those 5 seconds will be challenge in the times that focus is difficult. So a good task. Indeed, Varsha. And that is why what Matthew tells is just look for one story a month if daily becomes a problem, because of course life gets in the way. Uh, However, if you are thinking of being a writer or an author or anything of that sort, I would recommend doing this exercise at least once a week, because looking for stories, even if you are not looking to like write a feature length story, looking for stories and then turning them into stories could be great practice, because recognizing a good story in and on itself is such a skill, such a talent, which is why experienced writers win against very talented and experienced ones, because experienced writers know how to recognize whether a story is good or not. Okay, Ritu Parna has a comment. I love to take notes, sometimes a mental post it, a short note in my diary, and a voice note. Everything helps me document these 5 second story, which is exactly why she's such a great storyteller. She makes these notes, and then she finds a way to tell these stories to people in a way which are very relatable, which are very understandable. Not just relatable, they are relatable plus understandable, which I think is such a great skill. So coming back on our thing, uh, storytelling is, I think, about decision making, right? Deciding which story to tell is, as I was saying, very, very important. And journaling is going to offer you like this massive list to choose from, right? So this is why you do the homework for life. or you journal, or whatever it is you want to call it. Like, you can call it whatever you want, because I understand that journaling has gotten that buzzword kind of a vibe, with every content creator and their sibling coming in and being like, journaling, yes, meditations by Marcus Aurelius, yes, everyone is talking about this. And I understand it can probably be annoying, but a key reason why everyone talks about it is because it worked for them. And the reason why it works for just about everyone is because journaling ultimately is a mindfulness practice. If you have therapists and things of that sort, you will know exactly what I'm referring to. So storytelling is about decision making, and journaling is going to give you like this list of choices, which is why you have to, like, you, if you want to be a writer, don't let these moments pass you by. Uh, Rituparna has something to say. Once I have documented the story, then I find ways to use it in a real experience. My favorite moments come from the discussions I have with my son. I don't really have a son, but my four favorite moments also relate to like conversations I have with children, like random children who are playing around. And sometimes, someone will pull your hair or like kick you in the shin or something of that sort in public. So instead of getting mad at the kids, I try to talk to them, because kids have this such a beautiful imagination. Like, when you start talking with them, they come up with something so outfield. You're like, किधर से, मतलब कहाँ से लाए ये तुम? And then you try to figure it out, and it's such a cute reasoning that they generally always have. So I would agree with you. Children are such gold mines of content. If, and actually today in a DM to someone, a father who was looking for advice on his daughter, who wants to become an author in the future. That's what I told him. Like, the biggest gift you can give your author is teach her how to like keep track of all of these random stories she's coming up with. Because the older we grow up, I don't know what happens to us as adults. Our imagination restricts for some reason. Like, some of the things that I used to come up with as a kid, I'm like, Are yaar, why didn't I remember this? I remember fragments, but I don't remember all of it. So yes, definitely, I really love everything about this comment. Your short stories are impressive, Rituparna. I completely agree with Varsha here. Thank you. And hint, idea that will not be clarified. There will be facts and emotions in the pot. I would definitely agree with this too, which is why, you put the thing down on paper, because there is something wonderful in seeing something you are feeling written on paper, and then you are being forced to acknowledge certain things that you would not acknowledge about yourself. Like, say, for example, I have a bullet journaling habit, right? This is my bullet journal. And in the bullet journal, I do this thing called mood tracking, right? Now, if the mood tracker shows me that I am angry most of the days, and I am lying to myself and lying to others that I'm a very happy go lucky person, and my mood tracker is showing, dude, you are angry every single day, then you cannot lie about that anymore, right? So another benefit of journaling is it is wonderful for gaining clarity. It gives you clarity on things that you maybe had clarity on, but were having trouble acknowledging about yourself, right? So yes, journaling definitely helps us distinguish between hints, ideas, what could possibly be uh, good story ideas, because ideas and story ideas are two very, very different things, right? Uh, Riddhi has a smile, I believe, for the kids part, because she and her kids are just adorable. You can take ours, Binati. I will definitely take your kids when I come to meet you. I'm going to play with them for 6 hours, and then I'm going to interact with you for 6 minutes. Bus. More time with kids, less time with mom. It's a deal. Bullet journaling, wow. Yes, bullet journaling is one of my favorite activities. Like, you will probably find this funny, but I have a page here, right, which literally tells me to get back to work. Because sometimes, like, I'm overthinking things. I think you probably know this about me by now, Riddhi. And I need my journal to remind me, Behan, please काम भी कर लो थोड़ा. तो So yes, journaling makes it very, very easy to be open and honest about things. Okay. Then there's this bit, which is finding and telling your best stories is how you understand yourself. Now, what does this mean? Now, you will have, as I said, you will have a 5 second moment every single day, right? Chances are you are having multiple 5 second moments every day if you are interacting with a lot of people, courtesy of your profession. And in this, you're going to have to decide exactly what was it that affected you as a person. Like, of course, momentary things that happen, right? Where you felt a lot of happiness, or you felt sadness, or you felt momentary things. Those are okay, but moments that leave an impression on you, you explore those about yourself, and that is how you learn to understand yourself better, right? So one thing that I realized about myself by doing these activities was I'm a quitter. I quit things very quickly. I'll do a lot of things, and I will abandon them just as quickly. Which is why we are jack of all trades and master of, I guess, one. I don't know. But yes, finding and telling your best stories is how you understand yourself better. Uh, Whenever I come here, I understand a new term, one workshop on that. अरे बिंदास आप बोलोगे उस पे workshop करेंगे. Haha, it's so cool. I do that too. Absolutely. Like, see, it is so beautiful in having these conversations, which is why, growing in public is also so cool. You share things about your life, and someone always says, I do this too. And you're like, I'm not the only one. Okay. So, finding and telling your best stories is how you understand yourself. I have examples for you coming in down here. Examples, I think very famous examples of people who do this. They literally have big books, chonker books of essays. Like they've just written essays. And if you read their essay, you're like, they are literally describing a day in their life. How is this so popular? It is popular because they are hilarious in the way they do it. So David Sedaris and Fran Lebowitz, these two are my favorite examples of turning uh, uh, your diary into a best-selling novel. Like they don't even have fictional narratives. Both of David Sedaris and Fran Lebowitz literally write diary of sorts, which is hilarious. Also, think back to every single stand-up comedy special that you have seen for free on YouTube. Okay, what are the comedians talking about? Comedians are not telling you the theory of everyday things. No, they are literally telling you stories from their life. They are telling you stories from school and college days, and they're telling you stories about society, like things that you will at some point have probably thought yourself. But the difference between you and the comedian is the comedian found a way to frame the story, and they found a way to find the story, right? So that is what journaling will do for you. It will teach you to give two F's, which is find and frame. So, yes, definitely write a story about a day in your life. And for reference, you can check out any works of David Sedaris and Fran Lebowitz. They are very, very good at writing diaries. On to the final point, so to speak, which is formats and digital versus analog journaling. So there are many formats you can use. Two major formats are digital and analog. Let's talk about analog. तो इसमें तो कोई doubt ही नहीं है. You have notebooks. Okay, this is my LinkedIn Creator Accelerator journal. No joke, I have a journal for LinkedIn Accelerator too, where like I have my videos and things like that being planned, right? Like it might seem random to you guys, but it is not random. I do plan every single thing that you see over here, and the flow that I have was thought of over here first. So you can do it too. You can come up with an exercise of sorts. And as I said, what I like to do is I'll show you. I like to write my 5 second moments in a sticky. Let me put my ring light away. So yeah, the 5 second moment will be written on a sticky tape, and it will be stuck on a blank page of paper, like blank sheet. This is where I'll be writing my story, right? So this is probably how you can do it. Like there are so many of these. See, can you see it? So this is probably what you can do. I'll show you another example. Like Seijiro-san, who is in the comments right now. This is one of his comments on my LinkedIn posts. And I still haven't done anything with it. Like with stuff on the top, it has been published. But this, I haven't done anything with it. The day I do something with it, I'll definitely give him due credits. But point being, moments of inspiration are everywhere. Like this thing that I showed you in the end, this was literally a LinkedIn comment on one of my posts, right? And I could have forgotten about it after responding and being like, oh my god, that was so smart, done, right? Instead, what I did is I jotted it down in a notebook to be used at some point in time. So that is where, if you are comfortable with pen and paper, we use analog journaling. Super simple, and all you need is some scrap piece of paper, which is generally what I have. I have a big pad of sticky notes in my pocket or purse type thingies, and anytime something happens, I will take a note on the uh, on the sticky, and then I will come home and stick the sticky in my notebook so that I don't lose it, right? So that is something you can do or try. The digital format is also pretty simple. You have two options with digital. You can either go text, or you can go video, or you can go voice, right? Video and voice, I'm going to call it V only under one title. But either use voice memos or video journals to capture these moments where you felt something profound. If Riddhi is in the comments, Riddhi can probably, she was telling us how she had an experience, and instead of letting that experience take over her day, she literally came up with three posts that went on LinkedIn, three fabulous posts, if I might say so myself, that went on LinkedIn from one interaction she had with someone, right? So you can do it too. Like I have seen a lot of people channelize their intense emotions about a situation very, very positively. Like even if it is a negative interaction, something positive can come out of it. You just have to like learn how to frame the situation. Oh, thank you. I was not expecting this compliment, but I will take it if it's coming from Riddhi. Moments of inspiration and saving them all the time. I will start doing this for sure. Oh, yes. I think in a way, Riddhi, you are doing it already, which is why I tell people that post on any, pick one social media platform and post on it. And rather than planning content, जो भी feel हो रहा है, like create content about that. It becomes a digital journal of sorts. When you flip through all the content you have created, you can get a rough idea of your mental state if you are creating in that way. Whenever someone asks me how to create and blah blah blah, I'm like, अरे जो भी लिखना है लिख दो. Now it becomes a very cool digital journal of sorts. But coming back to digital, as I was saying, you can find a way to do voice notes are very, very quick. There are lots of free apps. Every single phone comes with its own built-in app to use this, and back all of, do not forget to back these things up on some storage device or something, because yeah, accidents happen. With analog, the accident could be very little, flood or fire or something of that sort. But the digital, I don't know, like you can get hacked, you mistakenly deleted stuff. Lots of things could go wrong. So pack your stuff up on digital. Either use voice and video, or use the Notes app, or use apps like Notion, Obsidian, things of that sort. I personally use Notion, and after 15th August or something of that sort, we will do lives on Notion and things like that, right? I'll teach you how to specifically set up your Notion if you are trying to write a book, and maybe you can follow along with me, taki we all make our own templates instead of relying on a preloaded template by someone, right? Because with preloaded templates, what you get is you get the preference of the template maker and not your own preference. So yeah, with digital journaling as well as analog journaling, you will have to come up with a system where you have this way which works for you in terms of convenience also, and it just doesn't end with you taking notes. You have to also like revise these things once upon a time, right? So they have to be in a way where you can recall exactly what is stored where, right? So have a system going for you. And if you want to learn how to do it on Notion, yes, we'll do one on Notion after 15 August. But this is it, digital analog formats of journaling. From my end, these were the points that I came up with. I can tell you what kind of journaling I do. Like I will do multiple forms of journaling. Just say there's the journaling of inspired knowledge. Say I was reading about Joseph Campbell's storytelling structure. So this is one form of journaling. It looks disgusting, but it makes sense to me, right? Because I personally prefer flowcharts and graphs of that sort. So something that seemed inspiring to you just in terms of facts or knowledge, you put that down. Then there is, as I said, moments that inspire you, right? Have sticky notes. देखो, भर भर के sticky notes and moments of that sort. Moments that inspire you, jot it down, stick it somewhere, and then use it. Just an FYI, Amazon Pen to Publish is happening for India. You have to send in more than 5,000 words with a cover and like use the tag of pen to publish. Right? It's mentioned on Amazon. And the winner of that thing gets 1 lakh Indian rupees. So if you want to participate in that, you could do this. Like mine your life for content right now. Write a story for 5,000 words and then send it to Amazon Pen to Publish. That is one contest you can participate in right now. I think till 10th September it is open. I'm not sure. Google Pen to Publish, Amazon India, and you will find the links. Then what you can do is you can do what? Okay, do not mock me. You can do disgusting journaling, which is in the moment when you are like you just want to vent, right? I literally I was on this call where I was so infuriated by the person, and I literally have gone ऐसा थोड़ी होता है ऐसा because my face had to be professional, but my mind was like, ah. So figuring out why that was happening is where the story is. Why something seemingly normal was infuriating to you. So that is another format where you are thinking out loud just for you. And then there is the visual form of journaling, which again, I mean, yeah, it looks something like this, where um, you are using, I don't know, you are using your impulse and instinct to go for why something worked the way that it did. Rituparna says, sometimes journaling may seem like a chore. People tell me journaling feels like another thing that they have to do. What is your suggestion for them? Ah, wonderful question. So, yes, people do feel like journaling is a chore, primarily because of the reason people started journaling in the first place, right? I did not start journaling properly when I did. I started journaling, to be honest, 11 years ago, right? And like everyone that reads Meditation by Marcus Aurelius, I was like, Ore, he had this journal and he wrote it down, and now everyone is turning his journals into a career, right? I was like, I can do this too. And when I was journaling that way, right? When I was journaling with the motive of having a business out of my journal, journaling became a chore. It became something that I did not really like because I was not journaling for clarity. I was journaling for selfish gains, right? And uh, the moment that changed for me is when I found journaling to be more productive for me. See, you don't journal for anyone other than yourself. Uh, Journaling primarily becomes a chore because you are not prioritizing it the way that you are supposed to prioritize it, right? Anything becomes a chore when you don't prioritize it. uh, Say I have to post on LinkedIn consistently for 7 days a week, and you really really don't want to, so you stop prioritizing it and you start pushing it off, right? That's when it becomes a chore rather than something you actively decided to do. So my very, very annoying suggestion for this is figure out why exactly are you journaling in the first place. Because if your intention to journal is not one to seek clarity, is not one to store your memories in one place, then you have to keep exploring for systems that work for you. Because one thing that conventional education systems have shown us with absolute clarity is that everyone learns differently, everyone understands things differently, and everyone vibes with things differently. So if journaling is not your vibe, if you don't find clarity with journaling, find what is it that works for you. Because with every single person, uh, example of an alternative journaling is mind mapping. For some people, mapping works where journaling does not. So if journaling is not working for you, try mind mapping. Point being, don't get stuck on one system, don't get stuck on one format, don't get stuck on one thing, and miss out on what could possibly be your own personal productivity creativity system, right? So I know that answer was not as how would I say, as practically as practical as most answers should be, but this is what I'd say is the answer to give. If you think journaling is becoming a chore for you, uh, you are not prioritizing journaling, because journaling is not the system for you. Okay, so explore what works for you. Journaling is there anyway on the back burner. Don't just get set on a system because it is popular. Find your own systems first before you get set on it. The moment you do that, you will not find journaling to be a chore anymore, because journaling is, as I said, it's a mindfulness practice, and there are more than one forms of journaling. There's bullet journaling, there's art journaling, there's junk journaling, there's kaun sa wala? Uh, I'm forgetting what it is called, uh, where people link things to. I'm forgetting what it's called, but it's basically very flow charty. So there are a lot of forms and formats of journaling. Uh, don't just pick your North Star in advance. Find out what other stars exist. Find out what other formats of journaling exist. Find out what other systems exist. And find out what other systems exist. Okay, so I hope again. My internet went away and I have to come on 4G. I hope it is working. I don't know it's working or not. But I hope that answered your question, Rituparna. And if it did not, apologies. Totally did not mean for this to happen, but it happens. So that's it. Okay, that's it for this live, and I'm going to shut it off. And it always sucks when this happens. The internet going away, I mean. So, yeah, thank you so much for sticking around. If there are any doubts or anything of that sort, please put them in the comments and I'll try to do my best to answer them. Uh, I hope you heard bits of my answer, Rituparna, because yeah, I have no clue what's happening with the live, whether it's still active or not. So for now, I'm going to bid adieu to this broadcast, and I will see you soon with something else. Bye.